Alright, welcome in everyone to A Programmer Plays MindSeize. In our previous episode, we finally made it to the ice planet, Icy Moon. So, yeah, we're in for a treat here of just exploring around, trying to find stuff. I'm tempted to go left a bit, because we didn't really properly explore on the way to that save spot. At least I didn't feel like we properly explored. Was more persistent than I thought it was going to be. Triple jump, proving its usefulness for alright, that didn't work out. Proving its usefulness for just filling in the map. I'm just being really sloppy with my health. Not totally sure how it is that I managed to walk through this doorway and still not somehow fill in the map for that spot. That seems implausible. I'd love to be able to upgrade that weapon, you know, get a little more damage on it. Pretty clearly, there's definitely more that we haven't filled in here. I'm not totally sure how. Never mind, I figured it out. Nice. Hell yeah. Nice even 200. Oh. Where did you come from? Alright, sure. Was that covered in health? I'm slightly confused by that. Alright, cool. So we've found an upgrade already. There's another something in here. Don't think we can go back up that way. Fine, that was just me being silly anyways. Oh, well, shit. Man, the those things hurt pretty hard. Oh shit. I thought I could outpace it. I could not. Alright. Nope. Alright, well that was a huge mistake. Nanobot Auto Injector automatically activates a nanobot when your health reaches 0, usable once every room. Well, that's interesting. Once every room? Really sort of banking on that being true right now already. Cool. Alright, shortcut unlocked. New Fingus. And we're picking up a lot of cash doing this, which is not actually that useful to us at this point. Nice. Get wrecked. Alright, so now... Oh, shit. Not great. Now we're good to explore here. Oh, well, now I'm a little embarrassed for going back to the previous save point. Weak point scanner. Shooting enemies in their back does extra damage. Interesting. Also, interesting how clear the parallax is in this room. This feels like the most obvious parallax we've seen all game. Huh. For anyone who doesn't know what parallax is where you've got multiple layers of sprites or any image really in a scene that move relative to the camera at different rates. So we can see how the background rocks here they seem to be moving like almost opposite the direction I am. In fact, they actually are moving the opposite direction that I am. Thus giving the illusion of depth. I think that might be a manually programmed parallax layer though, because Jesus. It's only happening in one axis, so it can't be like true. It's not like Hollow Knight where it's actually a 3D scene. Not totally sure I even know what those are for. Like, I'm pretty sure that they're just for cash, but I'm not actually sure. Again with the camera drift. Alright, hold on. The random stuff in the ice is pretty fun to me. Seeing that hammer there just for no reason, just, oh, hammer. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Our bestiary is keeping track of how many times we kill these. It might be and just not display it, but I feel like I've killed so many of those things already. Alright, don't go that way. Ah! Knew there was gonna be a secret in here. What? Oh, nanobots. Nice. I think that'll be enough of these herbs for now. There's a limit to everything, right? Now your nanobots should be pretty awesome, MC. Alright, so the implication there being that we have, yeah, find and collect all 4 nanobot boosting things. Cool. Do I think that there's going to be... Still getting a little bit of drift here. I'm going to continue on. Nice. Cool. This looks like the entrance. We are close to the end now. I'm ready for anything. You have proven yourself capable in that suit. You might even have a chance to surpass me. I might. Maybe you should get down here and take this final fight together with me? For Raven, I would, but I am captain of the ship now and I have different responsibilities. The Ascended know we are here. I need to stay on the ship in case we need to defend it. I understand. You're going deep inside the mountain. Our comms might not reach you. So I will be on my own? Looks like it. I hope that you find what we're looking for. Good luck, MC. Alright. 97%. And we just got a flag for, like, you know, end of game, essentially. I'm relatively confident that there's nothing in that corner there. As far as I'm seeing, we've done everything here. I'm just eyeballing like where we may have missed a spot. Because we're at 97, like we've clearly missed something. There's something somewhere that we've missed. There's some spots here that we haven't been to. Technically, like this one bothers me a lot actually. Like there's this spot here, 2 left and 1 down from the L. That like we've been over it so many times trying to find that spot and just have had no luck. We've got triple jump, so let's wait, back. Travel. World. Kokomo. This one. Oh, but hold on, what was that on the map? I think it might have just been a visual bug. It's entirely possible that the game just simply does not have a top there, and that's what that's telling us. kind of hate that because it's visually inconsistent if that's the case, but... Yeah, I just don't think we can make that jump. Alright, tell you guys what. I'm just gonna, like, run around off camera, and once I find the room, I'll turn the camera back on. But it's gonna take me a while to just sprint through everything and just keep my ear open for a room that has a secret. So, yeah, I'm gonna do that off camera. And for y'all, this will take no time at all. But for me, it'll probably take a while. So, yeah, be back in a bit. Alright, I am back where I started. For me, it's been 10 minutes. I've done a loop all the way around back to here, and no chimes. So I kind of suspect that we're done with Tacoma 7. That said, there is one thing that I think we can do. I kind of doubt that we're going to get anything from doing this, but there is the enemy down here that we never defeated. Where is he? Actually over there. Let's go to him. I've taken the longest possible route to do this. This is kind of a good argument for each of the planets to have their own separate, is that just automatic? Yeah, as soon as I touch them, we automatically start doing the fire. So here we go, this guy. There we go. Yeah, we actually got an achievement. Destroy every Guardian unit on planet Tacoma 7. So, cool. Worth it, I guess. So, alright. I think that means that we're done here. It's really hard to tell. I do wish that we had like a little percentage marker or a star or something for the planets that we were done with, but we don't, and that's okay. So, hello cat. So, I'm going to go to, yes, Verdant Gamma and do kind of the same thing. We're just going to start at the top and do a big loop, and I'll check in with you guys after I've done so. Alright, I've now done a complete loop of Verdant Gamma. No dice on hearing any audio cues for this, so let's actually just do a pass through Orbe. I think Research Facility is the most likely to have something that we need to find, but that's also just going to take a while. And I think I can run through Orbe pretty quickly. So we'll go to Orbe. I'll do the loop, and we'll find out. Oop! I just accidentally started talking to this guy. Hey, big guy, how can I be of help? I'm looking for a bit of an edge against the Ascended. Can you help me? Of course, my friend. While you know I cannot leave my home, my knowledge is at your disposal. During their long stay here, I read countless Ascended minds and learned numerous secrets. I have marked your mental map with several points of interest. Best of luck, Mordred Chad Fox. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Ooh, points of interest, you say? All right. Oh. Secret spot. All right. So, yeah. Cool. I'm super on board with this. We've got a diegetic reason for now knowing where stuff is, what we need to do. That's great. I'm super for that, because this is late game. It's not something that you would get early and, like, you know, ruin the game for yourself. Instead, we can get this, do our, you know, 100% completion edge, 100% completion type deal. Hell yeah, I really like that. Partially because it, you know, it saves me the trouble of manually running through every single room. All right, what do we think it is? All right, secret. Very secret. Nanobot Maximum. I'm a little confused about why it shows right bumper X2. It doesn't super make sense to me. Because I think we're currently at X. Alright. Very nice, very sneaky. Vampire Blade chip. Gain health from defeating enemies with your melee weapon. Ooh. I mean, that's borderline useless to us at this point. Since we do so little with our melee, and I kind of doubt that in the final boss there will be enough ads for that to make sense. That would have been phenomenal early in the game. But, you know, not early in the game. But that's okay. We're now at 99%. Let's go see if we can figure out this last little one. I'm a little surprised by some of the secrets in this game. A lot of the upgrades are upgrades that I would program. So it's kind of fun for me coming in here and seeing them and being like, I know exactly what the thinking was behind some of this. Like I mentioned a few episodes ago, that's not the move. Triple jump is very much like a programmer's kind of implementation, because it's numerically simple, even though, again, self. Really banking on this, Alright, I guess the ledge grab does not want to do that. There we go. Drop some health. It's candy. I mean, this right here looks like a breakable wall to me. I don't think it actually is, but it looks like one. Hello. Shortcut. Do we think I can just drop here? Ah, very sneaky game. I mean, honestly, this kind of feels like a hidden boss kind of scenario. Hell yeah. Whoa. Boy, they weren't kidding about the healing being better. Space tank it. Yeah, we got it. Monster from the depth, find and defeat the abyssal monster. Green Flamer. The drone flamer is now upgraded with alien acid flames that hurt more and burn underwater. Oh. Completionist. Complete all weapons, mods, power-ups. Visit every landing point. Hell yeah. Alright, we do need to save real quick before we get killed by a random enemy. Build this up. Cool. Alright. There we go. We're at 100% map completion. Really, Self? Why are we struggling with this? There we go. Room. Interesting that the ice changes our like total speed. All right. Well, we are as advanced as we can be. 100%. Should have understood from the moment I had a peek at your daughter's mind that you are relentless. I have to admit there's a benefit in biological reproduction, heredity. While I originally took your daughter's mind only as a trophy, I now have much greater plans for you two. A lot of dudes. Ah, okay, so it's our drone that's dropping the flame and not our boosters? Because now it's acid based. Alright, so I'm guessing these are backer statues, essentially. Sin Zero, the Sinful Knight, Sharpie, Andy. Like, these definitely read to me as backers. that. Give our shield a second to recharge before we walk in. I will say, because this is, obviously an unvoiced thing, this game needs to interrupt you so that you can, read the dialogue at your own pace, and, in my case, voice it. That does mean that the dialogue kind of inherently interrupts the flow of gameplay. It feels kind of bad when you're, sliding along and then all of a sudden your character stops because someone's talking at you. This is one place where the game Warframe really excels. It has characters. You see a profile, which really helps people with ADHD, and then the lines are voiced, so you can listen to it. The plot can advance while you continue to play. I don't really love indie voice acting. I think a lot of games, a lot of people think that voice acting is more important than it actually is, but I would love for this to be able to be happening while I continue to run around. This feels like something that a character would say at me while I'm penetrating their base. I've grown to admire you. You are a prime example of combining man and machine. It doesn't surprise me that you managed to kill Valkyrie and reach all the way here. Damage here. I would love to have a ability to convert money to health and energy drops. Imagine if you were to join us. Imagine all the good we could do for humankind. We could create a perfect society, strong as steel. The strongest of us would continue as machines. The weak would simply perish. I already have perfect bodies in production for you and your daughter. Just enter my chamber and we can talk. Because at this point, I'm sitting on $12,000 and I have no use for it. Ooh, where do we think this will go? A shortcut back to the entrance? Interesting. I don't really feel a need for that, but... So again, statues. I wonder if some of the backers ultimately were turned to bosses and some didn't make the cut, essentially. Or if they're multiple tiers. I don't know. Here we go. Final boss. Presumably. An unfortunate aspect of pixel art is when you animate motion, because you're so limited in your pixels, it really draws attention to everything that you do animate, which is both a blessing and a curse. In this case, it's kind of cursing a little bit because the animation to her torso and boobs is really highlighted, right? What's happening in the middle is really draws your attention, partially because it's boobs and okay. But also just the nature of pixel art, hey, a lot of movement is happening there. Your brain is recalculating what you're looking at. And it's distracting from probably what we should be focusing on, which is more the tentacles and the face and stuff. So In other words, boobs. Welcome, Inspector Fox. You reached way further than I originally expected. Those are the traits that I admire in humans: love, compassion, willingness to do anything for those who you care about. Those traits will also be the end of you and your kind. Not the end. You have to understand that I have learned quite a bit from you. Evolution is a gamble. You inherit wrong traits, you become a monster. You inherit the right ones, you become a saint. Imagine if we control all of that. And all the Ascendant I have faced are complete lunatics. Are you proud? You cannot make an omelet without breaking a couple eggs. Evolution makes mistakes, even a controlled one. Here's my offer. Join us while we take control of the society. I'll give you unlimited power, and you'll put that mind of yours to good use. Where's my daughter? We have nothing to talk about as long as her mind remains in captivity. I was hoping you would have learned something from me too. You and your daughter would be much better as machines. Never. Now look at yourself. You are essentially a machine already, but a powerful mind like yours deserves a better shell than that rusty old mag. And without that shell, you are even less a pathetic cripple. This is your last chance. I've got plans for you and your daughter. Join us and be immortal. I would never do that to Taryn. She deserves a real body, flesh and blood, if that is what you truly want. Okay. Whoa! Okay. Was not expecting that. How do we interrupt this? I say. Alright. What am I missing? What move have I forgotten? What move have I forgotten? Dash, shoot, melee, heal, menus, special trigger, directional aid, grenade. Maybe we'll try grenading her. I don't think that's gonna work. But okay. Whoa! Alright, so we busted through her shield using our Womp power. So I think we can do better. I misjudged. Okay, maybe it wasn't our Womp power. Maybe it was the grenades? I'll be honest, I do not love that the final boss is making us trial and error a insta-kill move. Alright. We did it. I guess we just needed to bust through her shield. Like we needed to just power through it. I'm a little don't love that, but okay, sure, whatever. Virtue pride. Did you dare to think that was all? This is the final form. Not human, not machine. This is what you could have had. Looks like any other mag to me. Oh no, this is not a mag. This is the form of a god. God. Yes, indeed. Kneel or cease to exist. Well. Here we go. First try. No, everything is still incomplete. You must spare me and give me more time. This is the only way. Defeat Shiva Pride. The end. You're back. Let's get my daughter's mind back home. Collected 102%. MindSeize team. All right. Oh dear. I don't know why it froze there. I guess just to give people a chance to read. That's disconcerting. Boy, it kind of sucks that their credits have text alignment issues. That feels very solvable. I don't know why that would be that way. Just space your text out a little bit more. Like this. This is fine right here. Okay, and these are definitely backer credits right here. Vanguard, yeah, that's a backer credit tier. I wonder. Oh man, I wonder if that pause there was literally just like loading this text and making this render. That would be pretty funny. I do appreciate that these are alphabetical. A lot of games with like backer credits in them do it in like insertion order, essentially, in the backer stuff, and it makes it really hard to spot your own name. So I appreciate this. Yeah, final thoughts. I don't love that the final boss had that like break the shield with enough damage or you just instantly die. That felt kind of cheap, and it wasn't really something that we had like done. I'm a big believer in take boss mechanics and like distill the essence of them and make them like little like puzzles in the environment leading up to them. That way you know what you're doing. So like using Hollow Knight as an example, it's got the first boss, the first true boss, the false knight, and he's got like big wind-ups that he telegraphs. You see that in other enemies before you get to him, and so you hopefully have learned by the time that you get to him, oh wait, some enemies I need to just like take a step back and then go into attack, otherwise I'll get smacked down real hard. I think this game could have used that with some of the bosses. Alright, and then no post-credit scene, just that's the game. Did the shape of that change? Alright, and the map doesn't have that thing. So yeah, that's game. Alright, MindSeize. Overall, I liked it. I liked the second half of the game more than I liked the first half, which is surprising. That's a little unusual for games to have a stronger second half than first half. But I don't know, like, I think that, like, I sort of ran myself out of options at a few times and just needed to do boss fight stuff, like needing to fight against the stranger. And that, it didn't really feel like that happened in the second half as much. And like there was definitely some little touches in there that I really appreciated, like getting the points of interest from Orbe there at the very end in this episode. Big fan of that. I kind of wish there had been more purchasable upgrades. I feel like there was room for like little tweaks, little gameplay like expressions like, hey, let me do like one more damage on my weapon by upgrading it, or let me buy something that tweaks the ratio of money to health dropped, and stuff like that. So as it was, I got, I'd say maybe 3/4 of the way through the game and was like, I'm basically done with money. Like, this is basically not useful to me. And ironically, at that point, I got a thing that made enemies drop more money, and it's like, oh man, dang it. Overall, I thought the weapons were pretty good. Some of them I didn't care. Like the little short-range dagger one, I like didn't touch because immediately just like, nope, this doesn't have enough range for me to like want to use it. The greatsword / hammer one I did like. Obviously, like I used it there at the end. I think honestly I probably liked the katana more, but I wanted to mix it up. The spear, took one look at it, was like, nope, do not want to use this. The guns, I didn't care for the pistol. I liked the machine gun more than that. But beam weapon, I liked that a lot. Obviously, finished the game with that. Rocket, I didn't have anything against. I just liked the beam weapon more. So, weapon variety, good stuff. I do think this game could have benefited from a little more snappiness with the weapons. They had big windups with the melees, and the guns were really hurt by the control scheme. The way that you could aim diagonally up, you could not aim diagonally down. There just wasn't a way to do that, and that's a less useful thing, but there's still plenty of scenarios where I was like up above an enemy and I was like, I want to shoot down at this guy and I just can't. My guy can't figure out how to aim down. That felt like a really big control scheme problem. Graphically, I like this style. I like pixel art. There's definitely some like rough edges, and like the trees in the first area were particularly problematic because they looked so artificial. They looked very someone in Game Maker putting down tree tiles to make a forest. I think if it had been me, I would have just avoided, I would have probably prototyped that area and gone, let's not do this area because it looks so artificial. When you're in caves, when you're in facilities, when you're in ice areas, it just doesn't register as much that it is like aligning to the grid and stuff. But when you're in a forest, you're like, this does not feel right. So the move there is either don't have that area or make your art not aligned to the grid as much, which introduces its own problems. So I probably would have just avoided it. The map generally was good. There's definitely a lot of scenarios. I found plenty of places on the map where the edge of the border of the map was telling me, hey, there's another grid here. There's another cell that you haven't like been into enough to put onto the map. And you just couldn't make the jump. Like the math of it didn't work out. And that's a problem. And in general, this style of map where you've got, a table, a spreadsheet of cells, the math is always going to be a little bit at odds where your position has to get rounded to a cell, and that could be a little wonky. And there definitely were some spots in the map where I think that the math, they had to like fudge the math a little bit in order to fit two rooms together that otherwise weren't actually together. And you see this, like a lot of developers say like, hey, you watch indie devlogs on YouTube and whatever, a lot of developers are like, hey, I have to like move this entire section over because there's simply not room for this room to fit in here. The artist who did the HallowNest.net talks about how there are rooms in Hollow Knight that they're hard to see. They simply cannot fit where they say they do. That's a common problem in development. And so, yeah, in this case, it sort of got highlighted by the needing to snap to the grid and like fill stuff in, and just it didn't quite work out. The map also just generally, like the outer edge of it was like 1 pixel wide, 1 pixel of black art. Let me actually load in and point at what I'm saying. So like we can see how around the outer edge of the map here has like a 1 pixel wide border. That should be thicker. It just should be. It should be at least 2 pixels to make it easier to see, because it can be just hard to see. And you can see where two rooms butt up against each other but have a wall. That is 2 pixels wide, and it looks better. Like it's easier to see and read what you're looking at. So, yeah. I think the inner border is too thick and the outer border is too thin. That might just be me, but I really think that. Also, for places like these rooms that don't technically have a ceiling, do like a gradient or something. Do something to indicate like this is permeable, but doesn't actually have a top edge. So like this room, this brown room right here, kind of just have to assume, like, hopefully there's no secret there, because I can't actually make that jump. We never got, like, a Crystal Heart ability. So, and we see them do that with the bottom stuff, where you got the two lines that go further down from the brown square right there. I don't know. Just little nitpicks about how the map is, but it is okay. I do kind of wish, I mentioned this earlier in the episode, I wish that each planet told you, like, when you completed it or something. Because until I went to Orbe, this is indicating that there's something on Orbe I never got. What could it possibly be? Let's find out. I'm glad I popped in. Oh. 102%. Oh. Well, I didn't mean to do that. 102% makes me wonder if it's hey, we expanded something after release, kind of like Hollow Knight, or if there's something else that happened. Narrative. Let's talk about the story for a second. In general, the story was fine. There's definitely a couple of translation bits that hurt it, in my opinion. Drone Weapon Pack 2. Boost the offensive capabilities of your drone. Okay. I don't really need that, I don't think, but... Like, obviously I don't. We've beaten the game. But... but story-wise, I do feel like maybe some of the clunkier dialogue was purely just because of translation stuff. So I'm not going to penalize them too hard for that. Yeah, 103%. Interesting. Actually, just double check that there's no other question marks floating around. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, alright, so there we go. Actual 100%. Yeah, a couple of little dialogue things that just didn't like quite work for me, but I'm gonna chalk that up to dialogue stuff. It did feel like the pacing of like, hey, we've got our ship. And we meet all these characters in like the first 5 minutes, but it's like too many characters too quickly. I would have spread it out a little bit more. And also just in general, the ship felt weird. It felt like that it was intended to be more of like a Firefly, like the crew is your family thing, and it just wasn't fully materialized. And that's fine. I don't think it needed to be. If anything, the ship was maybe too much. But like, there's the whole thing with like Kai, and you're like, Kai's got like main character energy, but we barely talk to him. So, enemies were fine. Decent variety. If we look at our log, we've got a bestiary, which is great. Like each area has enemies. You do start recognizing patterns where it's just like these guys, the wizards, like the wizards there. It's just like, oh well, it's just palette swaps. It's literally just palette swaps. And this like snow scout. Oh hey, that sounds an awful lot like this reconnaissance unit. That's fine. Palette swaps are fine. There was enough variety that I was perfectly happy. There were some, like this tree parasite, I think there's only one of them, full stop. And same thing with like the tea snout. Like I think that this is a unique enemy that you encounter once, which is interesting. Not quite bosses. Speaking of bosses, pretty mixed bag on my part. So this is kind of the problem with having like multiple weapons that players can bring to the field. It's hard to anticipate what kind of damage they're going to be doing, and all of it needs to be valid. Like, a boss needs to not require that you bring the pistol in particular to it. Which does mean that the bosses end up being essentially like big health pools, and they can't be like, there's puzzles like Mimir here, like the whole thing of like, oh, you need to get on the hand in order to get up high enough to do damage. And I'm sure that some weapons are better at that than others, but like they all need to work, and so it means that you just have like a big health pool number that you need to chip away at. And that's sort of like one of the strengths of Metroidvanias that have like very specific weapons, is that they can have bosses that have very specific versus things. And you see this with like Zelda games, right? Like, hey, we're going to give you a weapon. This weapon, your final test is going to be using it on the boss. Figure out how to use your weapon to do the very specific thing, and that could be very satisfying. Versus Hollow Knight, where it's like, hey, learn this pattern, learn what your opening is, and figure out how to like nail a thing. Or Shadow of the Colossus, hey, learn this Colossus, figure out how to get onto it and get to where you need to be. Honestly, I think that a lot of Metroidvanias need to look at Shadow of the Colossus as inspiration for boss fights, because a lot of Metroidvanias struggle with, hey, the core mechanic of Metroidvania is explore. How do you turn that into a final boss? And a lot of them don't. This game, I mean, the boss was a combat encounter much like all the other bosses. That's fine. I would love to see a Metroidvania someday where exploration itself is the final mechanic, much like how Shadow of the Colossus did. But yeah, overall, good stuff. Very solid Metroidvania. If you've got a Metroid itch, this is definitely going to be touching on it. There's a lot. There's a lot here. Like, I imagine if I like dug through the lore entries here, I imagine like stuff would start clicking into place a bit more. But as it is, it did feel a lot like we have characters doing things, and you're like, who are you? Where'd you come from? Why do I care? Sort of just unintroduced stuff. So, music, solid. Sound effects, solid. General technical stuff, it worked. The world was a good size. Yeah, solid game. I'm not going to give it like a numeric rating or anything, but yeah, I recommend it if you like Metroidvanias. But overall, I think that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys liked this series. If you did, give it a like, or, leave some comments or something. Give me a subscribe. YouTube words. But yeah, that'll do it for MindSeize. I don't know what game we'll be playing next. Some Metroidvania coming up tomorrow, presumably, if I get the schedule right. Yeah. Until then, bye.